I didn't have these great parents. I didn't have this great education. I didn't have a real loving family. I can't remember how many I can probably count on one hand how many times we say, I love you in my household. So my dad was a very abusive man. He would wake up and start drinking. He loved scotch. He'd wake up in the morning time, start drinking scotch. When he'd get drunk, he'd get violent. And so from the time I was born to the time I was 8 years old, I experienced some serious beatdowns from, and you never know when, it wasn't like he had to do something really bad. It wasn't like that. Just being alive made him upset. So that's how I lived for about 8 years, just getting beat like that from my father. And then when that ended, I was 8 years old, we moved to a small town called Brazil, Indiana, and that started another nightmare. And what's funny about that is that we lived in Buffalo, New York, where all this started at. We lived in a place called, it was 201 Paradise Road. 201 Paradise Road was the name of our street. And it's funny because it was nothing, it was the first thing from paradise. It was absolute hell. Imagine waking up in the morning time as a kid and all you know is, am I going to get beat today? And the whippings weren't like, I'm going to give you like 3 whippings, just like 3 across your butt, whatever. They were like serious beatdowns to the point where my mom had to write letters to school, excusing me from class because I was so bruised up. So that was the beginning of my life. So with that kind of foundation, to take that broken foundation, because you want to build a house on a good foundation. When you have a seriously broken foundation and you go to a small town in Brazil, Indiana, where there's a lot of racism there, and in my book, I have a lot of pictures. Like people, oh my God, you didn't come up like that. Even people from that town didn't believe that Brazil was that bad. No one wants to really, see, because no one's you. No one's you. No one hears what you hear. No one sees what you see. No one's living the way you're living. And they assume what they want to assume because their life's a certain way. And so now I'm in Brazil, coming from Buffalo, and that started a whole nother hell for me. And I started realizing I had a learning disability. A lot of it was from toxic stress. So I don't believe I so much had a disability in learning. I believe that when my foundation was so broken as a young kid, all that toxic stress caused a whole bunch of issues. So stuttering, patches of hair falling out, white spots on I still have these white spots on my skin.